am not Steve, but this is a free, fully customizable Vtuber model that I made for my micro streams that you can get from the link in the description. But you would most likely run into a few issues, so the rest of the video is just a tutorial to explain a few of the most common troubleshooting and how to solve it. In the downloaded folder, there will be 3 files, 2 pictures, which are the textures for the skin and the emotions, and the Blender file. In the Blender file, we have the Steve model, the skin A and B, A being the Steve model, while B being the Alex model, with slim arms. Steve is here just for show. I'm sure nobody will really use him, but if we go into edit mode, we can see that these boxes right here, which are for the blinking, are set for where his eyes are. Otherwise, for all of the other models, if we go to the other body type, for example, here are set up to be in these pixels right here, where his eyes are not. But for example, if we change it into a skin that does, for example, this skin, we can see by going and making him blink that it works. So that's just a customization that you gotta do for all of them. The only other thing that you need to do is make sure that you have these dots right here in the texture itself. They won't be here normally because this is a part of the texture that is normally not used. So you gotta go here, put the left and right color that you want the eyelids to be, and you're good. So make sure that you move those boxes where you need the eyes to be if you want the blinking animation, and also to change the texture. With that, click the skin, the emotions, and the armature. The reason you probably want to have the emotions mesh is because being a Minecraft model, you will not be having any sort of face tracking. So that, for example, when you smile, this note pops up. You can do it both on the right and on the left, right here. They don't get mirrored, so don't worry about that. And you have 4 options. The first 3 I actually textured and you're just free to use, while the 4th one is empty. That, along with these blend shapes, are gonna allow you to actually speak and not look like a cardboard, to then export as whatever file you need for the Vtuber tracking software that you use. In my case, for Warudo, VRM. Now, in the Unity project, with the SDK correctly installed already, we pull in the texture that we want to apply to the model, and there it is. Now, you gotta make sure to remove the filter mode, because otherwise it's gonna look off. So you remove that, and then you also remove the compression. The file size should be small enough anyway, so you don't really need that. You then go to the folder where you want to put the VRM file. After a bit of loading, you should have this model right here, which you're going to put into the scene. It's going to look really odd as it doesn't have the correct material. So you go to the material that you created, you put the texture in it. I do advise using Poyomi, which is a very famous shader, so that you don't run into lighting issues. You apply, and everything looks good on the outside. You gotta go inside the head too and apply the second material to the emotions mesh. Again, these 2 materials you're gonna have to make on your own, but they are really easy. If you have any experience with Unity, you shouldn't have any issues. So now you're gonna have to set up a few things if you're going for Wardo specifically. You go into the expressions folder for the blend shapes, and here we go to the blink. We click on the skin and we put the blink as well as 50 for the pop-up. Same thing we do for the other blinking animation. And with that done, we move on to the vowels, where I put, for the A, I put head up and a pop of 100. For I and U, I put the head up L and again a pop up. And for E and O, I put the head up R. With that done, you should have everything that you need for Wardo. You just have to click on the model. We go ahead in the mod settings. We give it a name, the version, which requires you to put 3 numbers, the author, and then just a description. You don't really need to do any of this. You just do it for the aesthetics of it. Make sure that the export directory is the correct one for Wardo. And then after you've done that, you make sure you clicked on the object and you click setup. You have now created this object right here into your asset. You then click on Wardo and you build mod. Now in the tracking software, you're almost done. The only things that you really need to take care of is make sure that the blink animation is set to be binary. Now doing so will give weird results. Then of course you gotta bind your emotions, facial tracking, or activating through a keybind to result in the activation of these things. If the model needs fixing, or you're running into some issues that you cannot solve, just write a comment and I'll see what I can do to help. Again, you can freely use the model, there is no need to credit anything, though I would appreciate. The best way to show appreciation would be to follow me on Twitch at FireNewSet. And with that, it'll be all. Thanks for watching.